Alright, so I'll break down my template a little bit just so you guys know what's going on. When I jump into my projects, I like to set it up so that I kind of have something to work with right out the gate, like something to inspire me that's not going to always point me in the same direction. And I also like to have my freedom to start fresh too. And serum and operator are usually what I dive to. Definitely more operator this day, today. And yeah, I like to keep a resample track down here just ready to go so that when we start making funky stuff that's a little bit like off, kilter, then we can just have long recordings. If you're not familiar, Mr. Bill calls them like mud pods and sound design files or whatever, but just huge chunks of audio that you can go through and slice up and layer into your music later on and have for use later too, just on multiple tracks, whatever.
Yeah, always save what you're doing too, man, because guaranteed there's probably so much stuff you could go back and use for later on too if you just pick apart one project file you've done, and you can just throw all those files into Granulator and do a million things with it. So, as you know, Ginseng loves to do a lot of that.
Randomization is good. Yeah, the funkier you get the better. But alright, I guess let's just dive in on some of this. What direction you want to go?
Let's I don't know. Do you want to do operator?
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. Do you want to show them the harmonics? So, Vector, I'm sure a lot of the people that are watching this are going to be familiar with him, but check his streams out for sure too. I learned a lot just watching those, and he showed one of the coolest tricks I've ever seen for basses. So basically, I'll show you the way it works. We've got this that just kind of shows the signal chain for FM, and this one over here just means each oscillator is running side by side. And so typically a neurobass is made up of a traditionally it's a square wave, but so that's consisting of every odd harmonic. So if you set these to odd harmonics, I'll show you. And you just play with the volume, and you have complete control over the harmonics and how they feed into whatever effects you have. So what I love to do for starting out is just throw this through some glue compressor and soft clip it. And erosion is what a lot of people are doing nowadays. It's really good for just adding high end. I mean, it's just white noise, it's nothing too trendy about it. It's just fundamental, but got that. I don't get to use this one.
We talk about pedal all the time, and then we just go away from it because it's just so fat.
It is. It's really good for bringing out high end. I love that tone.
And amp is great. I think that you can do a lot with amp, but pedal for basses that are just real harmonic like that are just awesome.
Yeah, and I notice I just get less clicks with pedal. I don't know, I feel sometimes I just get some clicks with amp or something.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but this one is it's just a really smooth algorithm. I don't know what they're doing, but it's really good. So just playing around to find a tone that I like. I'm digging that, but let's try it. So we got that already.
And that's just a good bass level, ready for processing.
So I'm gonna group these tracks. And what I like to do, just for workflow reasons, is just map whatever knobs are sounding cool to one movement, right? So this is the knob that I change, and I go up here and I find that's still cool up there. I'm gonna leave it so that I can max out there. Actually, I might want to like down a little bit. Let's see. That's cool. All right. And then we can add a fifth harmonic. Yeah. Fucking love doing this. It's just so immediately gratifying, and you just being able to like hear everything that you're putting into it, I find is like really the key to a lot of stuff. What is, okay, let's see. Alright. And you can see it's already like something you would use, and all you would have to do is just write MIDI and use automation, or you could just, you know, play it in with a knob, which is fun to do. Let's see. A little bit of that. Let's see. I'm just doing this for these certain harmonics for demonstration, but you can get creative.
This also goes back to what we were saying in the beginning about save everything, because like now you've got a solid bass and you've got a knob that's controlling movement right out the gate. You know, save that rack and come back later on, and like now you can start to create a sound like that, because now that's ready for processing. And so that's where you can start to get into like where you like things, you know, like maybe my next step would be like a vocoder or like corpus to maybe hollow it out or something like that. And every time you start to add new effects and find different things that you like, you can just use that bass because it's so solid that once you build on it, you'll have a whole new sound ready to go. And you don't have to go through this whole process of like trying to find like, you know, the perfect harmonic areas, and like you're just ready to go, you know, like it's important to do. So save your racks, save your fucking racks.
And the way I like to do it is just do bass and the name and then the number 1, and then you just save the next number, and that's it.
I'm unorganized. I'm not my bad.
Dude, you're so caught right now.
It's so good, yeah. I'm so caught, but that's alright. But yeah. I'm gonna try to do some stuff to this because I like how this is sounding. I think corpus might sound really nice with this. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with corpus, but it's basically like, you say the best way to explain it would be like
it's physical modeling.
Right, okay. So like of like kind of like how you could get like the hollowness of a drum or a tube, you know, like if you banged on a tube, that like resonating noise. But the coolest part of corpus is that it takes like notes to resonate off of, and you can sidechain it into itself. So I'll sidechain it into the operator here, and we want the low frequencies. And now you have like more control, and it'll change dependent on what note it's inputting in, because now it's reading your MIDI. So sometimes like something like plate might sound really cool, and I'll put it up really high so you can really hear what it's doing.
Whoa.
Start getting some really weird stuff, right? But because of the filter, like maybe we can just like move this back to just affect the low areas, right? And it starts to just make the sound a little bit more hollow.
gives it some like cool like feedback.
Right, and
because
so, right, and now you're transposing it by steps too, which is also pretty convenient because you can, play around with notes and start to get that like real, or alternatively like super low even like would sound super nice on some of these. Yeah, so Corpus is just super fun. I've been playing around with that a lot with this other one. Yeah, that's awesome. And then maybe like start to add a little bit of movement into the patch. And so typically like your LFO is going to move all of the oscillators, but the greatest trick of operator is that you can set it to move the filter. And so now it's not affecting any of the oscillators at all, and I can start to, create my filter how I want and get movement out of that without having to go out of my way to add extra filters in and stuff like that. Starting to get like a little bit more like movement to it, which is fun.
Oh, can I show them the? So, I kind of had like a thought when I saw or I think it was like maybe a YouTube video where it was like a copycat thing.
Okay.
Where he was like letting the harmonics through. And let me take that off real quick. And so we got this. We've got all the harmonics in right now because I've got it maxed out. So there. But when I turn this low pass filter on, it's really cool because I can move this and it'll decide how much of the harmonics are being like let through. So that running into distortion creates cool.
And that also plays in really well with the erosion too, because the erosion is going to sit more towards the top, so you could do that a little bit outwards too with another filter.
Try it.
Oh yeah.
I think this is there we go. Let's try like
mono it out, yeah.
Yeah, and that gives it a cool feedback. I really like that.
Yeah.
Alright. Cool. But
you can just get all sorts of really weird stuff playing like that.
Do it for sure. Play around.
It's like Corpus, like when it hits where Corpus is aiming for, that like hollow sound is incredible.
I like that a lot, especially for these harmonic basses because they already kind of sound like.
Yeah.
Well, they're like running into like soft clipping, you know, so it kind of sounds like almost like that.
I'm gonna do like so this is kind of in reference, you said like earlier, amp, you kind of get like a little bit of like weird feedback or like clicky noises sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember where I just saw this, but if you just turn it down a whole lot, you're actually now aiming for those clicky noises, right? So if I feed this into a multi-band, and I just, push the hell out of the high. Let's see. Can start to get some of those, like, textures from the amp, I guess.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, you hear how it changes?
Yeah, like that. You could use upward compression to get that up too.
Yeah, now it's starting to like pick up a lot of just like the textures area. I'm gonna dive a little bit off of Ableton Native just to get some reverb going, I think.
I really want to show you that trick in a minute that I've been using for reverb.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what I can do here. This is super important for people that don't know a whole lot about reverb and like the best ways to lay it in. Even the lowest bass can get a little bit of reverb as long as you doctor it right with your EQ. And so like think about like, you know, those whittler noises, like those foghorn basses and stuff like that. Like that's a lot of reverb, but the bass still just absolutely shatters. So as long as you like do like a good bit of cut out of the bass, I found that, you know, shaping towards like the middle of the bass can be super solid for your verb, and you get cool results from it that don't just like destroy all the low end and whatnot. Let's see. That's got a weird noise on it. Can you hear that?
Whoa. Whoa, I love that algorithm. I've never really played around with that one.
It's almost like a little bit more cinematic, I guess.
Yeah.
Get some cool stuff going with that. Ooh.
Yeah, that compression and good keys.
Wow. Maybe we can like shape it. So what was that like reverb thing you were talking about?
Alright. So, I don't know. I just like, I've been trying to figure out, because I've been listening to a lot of Not Low. I wonder if this is what she's been doing. But I just noticed like her basses were just like pretty verbed out. Like they were massive, you know? And then like after they cut out, like it cut out pretty quick. Like I couldn't really identify the sound of the reverb past that. And so here, let's see if I can recreate what I did. But so who was that streamer that Elise? The guy that was doing?
Yeah, I believe you say his name like Elysian or hold on. I'm gonna look it up just so we can shout him out, because literally the coolest dude ever, and he's from like Germany. And I think he just turned 18, and he's gotten hype from like Cone Sound and like all these crazy people. But yeah, let me make sure we shout that out right.
So pretty much I'm just splitting the highs off of it and putting it in parallel in a chain, with it just cutting out everything below the highs, and I'm gonna distort it. So sound like as opposed to like more high-endy. Go ahead.
This man, Aladian, hop on that fast.
Seriously, his music's incredible. Anyways, so he's been doing this. Oops, let's get out of here. Oops, let's get out of here. Oops. How do I get out of the loop? Oh my god. I was literally like hypnotized for a second.
Bad trip.
Wall hollow.
Yeah.
So, okay. we'll just do a.
Huh. Nobody likes anyway.
No.
Yeah.
The vintage verb probably is the one I use, maybe. I just can't really remember. But just set the decay all the way down and mess with the pre-delay. It's still, it's not as tight as the, maybe we can do it with like Ableton. Let's try with like Ableton's reverb.
Looks like we're staying native.
Thing about a room reverb is like the algorithm kind of decays in a really tight way, so you can get a sense of it's like a room, you know. So let's take this, turn this decay time all the way down, turn this spin chorus and diffusion. So it's just like, and you just mess a little bit with the decay time until it's but when you like,
I think that channel still has that other big verb on it too.
the what?
I think it has that vintage verb on it, which is
Let me
just got it all off in there.
But you can hear it, it's like really tight.
Yeah, it's almost like a delay.
Yeah, it's almost like...
Wow.
Right?
Cool.
And it has like this suction back end, because it's only like supposed to be the pre-delay and then suck back, right?
Yeah.
It's got like this feedback. And if we just like change the, or we can use auto filter, maybe. Okay, let's try. But this just sounds really good with the other reverb. But the cool thing also is that you have complete control over like the EQ.
Right.
So you can pick like cool peaks, you know, like that. It kind of comes out and then. And it's tight as fuck,
yeah.
but it sounds huge, and it's not conflicting really. And you can even take like further precautionary measures and throw another EQ on the channel. But as you can see, like there's really nothing. You know, it's not really.
The little textures on that are just so tight.
Right? Okay, maybe there is a little sub on that, but yeah, you can control it, which is cool. Yes. Let's save it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So
Here. Map that frequency there to a macro.
wait, is it grouped? Okay, yeah.
Just to a different macro. Yeah, there you go.
Close these up.
Nice.
And you know, you can even take it the whole step farther and just say EQ. We'll cut it at 97, and then we'll go ahead and put another instance of operator down here. Ooh, maybe. Ooh, maybe. Ooh. What's going on?
Oh, it's already operator. And you've got stuff mapped out.
Try this again.
It was like duplicating it or something. Okay.
Let's see. And then we'll just cut this one at 97 as well. actually make a sub now. And I don't know if anyone caught the latest Mr. Bill episode. It's all on subs. It's also very incredible, but I'm going to do a quick little sub creation on this on the bottom. But it's kind of the same principle as the other bass. We want to have them running with each other and making one voice, which is super important. And basically, the principle is you can add an extra harmonic onto the second sub, on the second oscillator. And I don't have a, sorry, I'll solo this. I don't have a, I don't know if span will show it right. Let's try that real quick. But yeah, you can start to see that when you take the second oscillator, because it's running out of the second harmonic as well, it adds a little thickness to that layer of sub. And then as we run it out of phase with the other one, I don't know if span's going to show it, but it starts to spread the harmonics and on the second one, or it starts to like spread where it sits on the EQ as far as like how close it is to that first one. So I've found that the best place is somewhere around like 30 to 30, or 30 to 40, like 37, creates just this thickness that isn't necessarily like easily achieved through other routes. And this also will thicken it up as well. So now, because these are running in parallel and they're EQ'd against each other, you'll have a top end that's not going to battle your sub. So that's very solid. That's a good patch right there. So let's save it. What do we call it?
Streamy or bass, and then streamy bass 2.
Is it all caps?
I think so.
Streamy bass? Like that?
Yeah.
They do.
Alright.
Right. See, we're gonna have a catalog after these.
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, where to from here?
Oh, should we, here. Let me,
Let's,
see.
I'm gonna check the chat and see what's going on.
That's a good idea.
Because I don't even know who all is in here. What's up, everyone?
Hi.
Or no one.
Or nobody.
What's up?
Like me earlier. I think I had like one person. I can't tell because like when I get on, it says like one person.
Yeah.
But then I've gone on and it says 0 people too. So I don't know if like it's just one person watching me or.
Someone loves you, man.
I don't know. I want to know who. They'll never type.
Alright. Hey, Jabs. My man, how are you?
Hello, Jobs.
Got the chat open now. Sorry we've been laughing on that. He's been in the zone over here.
If you have any questions about sound design or anything, I don't know. If you want us to do anything,
Oh, you're a serum boy. Okay, I got you.
oh, you want some serum? Let's do some serum?
Should I show him? Okay, hold on. Alright, I'm gonna bust down a patch for you then, buddy. Hold on. So I have this new technique that I learned. And it's essentially like instead of using the LFO as a tool for movement out the gate, you use it as a tool for creating notes, right? So it's like almost like a step sequencer. So if you route this up to the semitones, you'll notice start to get that. Which is cool. But when you set your shift function to a flat, then you're going to be getting notes now. Which if you've got a tuner or if you can read by ear, which is always handy, that's solid and you can figure out what it's playing. But let's see. I'm gonna go now, wow, this is obviously super fucking generic. When you start to play with your different things like this, you can do some really unique things. Like now that this is picking up notes, if you were to route this to the reverb, right, your notes that are going to be higher are going to have more reverb on them, and then immediately cut down if the notes go down. So you get something like this. Which is pretty unique, and let's see, just a little bit, but yeah, like you can immediately start to get like awesome results from different notes now. Like notes have effects. And you can start to add little things like this that you wouldn't necessarily be able to like write in or play in very easily. Which, now you're like creating like really easy dynamic arcs. And you can even do this into the filter too, like,
Oh yeah.
some sort of like cool cone or, let's see. If I could afford it.
True.
Do
That's a
something
good
like
one.
you do this sounds.
Oh my god. Which, it's too good.
It's not like great, but it's like, play around with this, man. Like there's some really unique things.
But that sound guaranteed to make someone smile.
Right, and it's unique, like that. Right, like you probably haven't heard that before, which is like, nice. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for shit that people haven't heard, because that's just important. You can create the same dubstep noise over and over and over, but when you start making shit that sounds like this, let's see. People haven't heard that shit before. It's really weird and it's unique, and it's something that is now, part of my library that I can use and grow on and all that shit, which is super important, But yeah, it's just like a cool little technique. I don't really dive on serum too much, unfortunately. I've been trying to do more, and I actually recently learned that Tipper uses like a ton of serum of the trees. I guess was like in the studio with him or something, and he said that man was putting on like 16 bar LFOs and like all this like crazy stuff to make his noises, which is super impressive, and I don't know how to even go about that. So.
Yeah, I just like, the thing I like about Operator is its simplicity and the fact that like it's just so fast to get like the result that I want. But I find that like serum can be good for a few things, including that, because like there's not much else you can do to get that kind of sound.
Right.
You would really have to do serum, but here, this is, I like it for wubs.
Right.
I like it for wubs. You can just throw this on there and
yeah, we had that sound design session a while back where we sat down and we just tried to like make only serum wubs back to back for like, what was it, like 5 minutes per pack. Super awesome exercise. Just try it out. Challenge yourself.
5-minute patches, and then you have like 20 patches.
Yeah, and they may not be great, but they're super, handy to be able to just like load up and like do small maintenance things too. And
yeah, super good to. That's also a good tip. Go back into your patches and then resave them.
Yeah.
Anyways, I turned the random all the way down, and that's something you should be doing if you want like a consistent result with your like bass sounds in particular. The only time this doesn't like really apply is when you're trying to get like the detuned saw thing. Because if you just have it like, then it's just going to do that every time. So that's the only time you'd want that for consistency. But anyways, I need this actually. One. Where was that one? Harmonic morph. These ones are cool. And you just turn this down. And then you can mess with the phase intentionally.
Wow, you get like a cool texture out of that.
Yeah, you can make it thicker.
Right.
And then cool thing you can do is find a resonant peak. Oop. I'm gonna FM that.
He said, I'm honestly confused as to why the random knob isn't at 0 on default. That's a good
I
point.
know, right?
It's really silly.
Seriously. I think the wavetable I was looking for is harmonic series.
It just adds like the extra harmonics, and that's kind of like how operator works in a way, like with the...
Yeah, with the harmonic thing. Yeah, pretty much. And then... You like that?
Yeah, that's got to be kind of like how Immersive goes about doing a lot of those. And one of my buddies turned me on to...
Say that back if you want.
Yeah. Turned me on to using, it's like pulse width movement or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Yeah, let's say this patch. We'll call this one bass web. Maybe we're gonna have a whole library. So alternatively, we could get a library going, and then next session maybe like work with the library or something like that.
Yeah, we should. We should. That'd be cool.
Something. Because now we're starting to get some cool stuff.
Let's do that for next stream.
Yeah.
Let's get an intentional pack for like what we want to use.
Cool.
All the sounds we want for a track.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. Or we could even do a little drum synthesis stuff too, maybe.
Yeah, I can
do like tutorials and
that.
stuff. Which you should go check out his tutorials.
Go check out my tutorial. I did a hi-hat one today.
That's
so if you want to
intense.
learn how to do hi-hats, I'm going to upload that whenever I get home.
That's some real drum shit. Alright, well, do you want to keep going? You want to call it soon? What you thinking? You make another bass patch?
Is there anything else?
Let's see. Open the chat back up.
I think we did serum pretty well. What's he saying?
There you go. No, I actually haven't messed with that, I don't think. Adjusting the mode on different oscillators.
Linear.
Let me check that out.
Where is that?
I'm gonna look at that real quick. Hold on, I'm gonna leave the chat up. Do you know where it is? Is it in the matrix probably? Or like...
It might be. It's within the global tab.
Okay.
Oh, there. This is linear.
So what the hell does this do then, my friend?
Yeah. Should we just see if it sounds different?
Yeah, check it out. It might make more sense if we do it to B, because that's kind of where all the...
Oh, true. Is it one of those like really subtle things? So like if it's like one of those quality things, is super the best one to do?
So, yeah, that's fucking. I have no idea.
Also, should I go for like a serum growl or something?
Yeah, sure.
That'd be fun. As a troll.
As a troll. This is how you make a rhythm drop.
Oof. Dude, that, I'm not even gonna lie, like, I do that on my own.
Okay,
For
so
fun.
he said they're for adding different tones within FM and font. Okay, that's cool.
Dude, that's really nice.
I'm gonna have to play with that, so then it might make a difference.
Your phone is on 1%.
I'm not gonna lie, my phone has been on 1% for this whole thing. I've just been winging it.
Dude, oh my god. You stress me out. You like leave your computer at 2%. You're like having a conversation. I'm like,
alright, yeah. Grab it up.
Alright, they like to do some stuff. Ooh,
That's nice.
this is doing that. So, we like to FM